Ladies and gentlemen, time to Wrestle Rock with Rick Connor.
What the F was that entire freaking promo about?
Mark Kalbacher.
She's like a James Ellsworth of women.
And Corey Castle.
I look like Paul London and Brian Kendrick mixed.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wrestle Rock. Corey left. There he is.
Hi.
I'm Rick Connor.
I'm
Corey Castle, and that's Mark Kalbacher because I just talked over him.
It's all right, man. We're a little rusty. We
jerks.
haven't been together in a week or so.
Yeah.
It's our first podcast back for in the past 2 weeks because we had the NXT show, and then immediately after that we had Backlash. Did you guys get a chance to see Backlash at all?
Can I just say one thing?
Okay.
Motorcycle ninjas. I mean, come on.
I love it. I love it. And the only reason why it was good was when R-Truth was crawling out from under the ring, and he said WWE has a ninja problem. I was laughing. I thought that was hysterical. But besides that, it's absolutely terrible. But R-Truth says everything because how stupid he is. I love him.
Yeah, the whole
Motorcycle ninjas. That like sets back the WWE's not racist by decades.
Dude.
Yeah, it goes back quite a bit. I was looking at Tozawa, and I'm like, really, Tozawa? They mixed Tozawa in there?
Like, he's never had a ninja gimmick. He's never had a martial arts style. Like, it's just that he's a Japanese guy, so let's peg him with a ninja gimmick.
Yeah.
Hey, he's making the best out of what they gave him because he's kind of funny with it.
Yeah, he looks good. I don't know about this 7 foot tall dude that got to be a ninja. I was hoping it was going to be Zeus, the human wrecking machine, who's just going to pop that mask off.
That would be very funny.
I would have loved that.
But here's my thought process: fire Jerry Lawler because he said egg roll, but then throw a ninja costume on a Japanese wrestler. That same Japanese wrestler just a month later.
Because I swear Vince just trolls people. I swear to God. It's like, let's see if I can get away with this one today.
And this is the tag team title picture that we're looking at here. Like, this isn't like some gimmick that's off to the side that nobody's going to be talking about. This is where the tag team champions are right now.
Dude, all this stuff is so dumb. Like the whole the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders, the Street Raiders or whatever the
Viking Profits.
Street Raiders.
Awful. Awful. I hate it. I hate it. It's dumb. And it's not helping anything. It's not helping wrestling at all.
Nice. Jeez. You know what, though? I didn't mind their little vignette. I thought it was a nice break between the two matches. Because both matches were probably the two best on the show. But after that, like it's just dumb. It's so dumb.
They smashed a window of something. Like, that's Braun Strowman's car. Oh no! Like, get out of here.
And nothing came out of that. Like, so is this supposed to be like a running joke now?
No, because Braun Strowman's car got messed up by Miz and Morrison. So it's just like it's all them recycling, like the use of that prop.
So is Braun Strowman's car going to turn into the Spanish announce table from now on? Is that what it is? Or what?
Yeah. Well, Miz and Morrison screwed up Braun's car on, like the lead up to Backlash.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, so now, every time they have a pay-per-view, his car's just going to be in the driveway and get wrecked.
And then he's going to flip something. And then he'll flip a van that has people in it.
That'd be great, though, if you see somebody accidentally bumps into something that knocks something else over, that knocks something else over, that lands on Braun Strowman's car. Strowman comes out like, "Oh, come on!"
You know, it'd be a good heel turn for Braun Strowman to flip a bus filled with people.
I think the heel turn one day is he just beats somebody up and he says that's because everybody wrecked my car.
You know how many cars I had to buy? Not because I'm crazy with the spending. You guys just keep on messing up my cars.
My insurance rates are through the roof. I have no choice but to be a bad guy.
Yeah, not because I bought a 1984 Cutlass and had it souped up.
Oh man, yeah, but I enjoyed Backlash. I thought all the other matches were great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Randy Orton and Edge. Randy Orton and Edge. Way better than I ever could have thought. Like
45 minutes of just like two old school guys just showing you how to stun. It was great. It was great.
Yeah. I didn't have too many problems with that match at all. The only real problem I had with it was the billing of the greatest match of all time. Like if they didn't like that billing hurt the match, I thought, because everybody went into this like the expectations are through the roof with that when you build something like that.
Yeah, it was a terrible billing, but they wanted to be like, hey, it's just a regular wrestling match. All hold hard.
Well, the thing, Brian Alvarez brought it up, and they didn't even use it, which I thought was kind of cool, was they could have used that Randy hit him in the nuts to end the match to say that it could have been the greatest match of all time, but Randy ruined it by doing a dirty cheap spot. And they just went right into, and I don't know, they might have canceled that if it was even an idea after Edge tearing his shoulder. So,
there was a real big kicking in the nuts problem going on in WWE with Randy Orton. Ric Flair popped Christian in the nuts to make Randy Orton win that match. All right, we got to start like giving people cups before they have a match with Randy Orton. Like,
wasn't that what? Was it AJ did that? He wore a cup because Shinsuke kept kicking him in the nuts. The one match was it AJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Road Dogg did it back in the day against China. Like,
Johnny Gargano wore a cup.
Just cups all around. Just start throwing them out.
Well,
like
I thought after Gargano wearing a cup, maybe they were going to finally do away with the nut shot, and then maybe they can finally do away with the surprise roll up, which is just killing wrestling in general.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. The worst recently was this week with Asuka and Nia Jax on Raw. Like, what happened with that? Like, the referee almost threw the match out, and then Asuka rolled her up and got a quick count or something. Like, what was that about?
I didn't make any sense through it. I didn't even watch it. I just fast forwarded right through it.
I was very confused by it because it's like, you're trying to make Nia Jax unstoppable, but you don't want Asuka to lose, but then you make Asuka look like a chump in both matches. Like, it made no sense. She'll be a ninja next week. Don't worry about it. She's going to be standing right next to Tozawa, the female ninjas. And that's how they're going to bring, what's her name back, who's disappeared from the Street Profits for the last, 3-4 months.
Belair?
Yeah, Belair. She's just going to appear and fight a female ninja.
I forgot about her.
I think
everybody else
forgot about her. Shame, a kind of talented person. I still think she was a little green, but she's going to be somebody when she finally does.
Yeah,
like wrestling on a regular basis. But yeah, what was the match? I was trying to think, what was the match before the Street Profits? I'm trying to remember. I actually enjoyed it.
Was that Lashley and
yes? The finish was the thing about WWE on during the pay-per-view was like actually Asuka and Nia Jax was a solid match, and then the finish sucked. Then Lashley and Drew McIntyre put out this amazing match. I thought it was fantastic, and then they have Lana come out and ruin it for this stupid Lana Bobby Lashley story that nobody cared.
Divorce.
Didn't they just get married?
Yeah,
like last week.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I think Corey Graves said this will be 2 divorces for her in 8 months.
Yay!
I've seen it happen.
I'm liking the MVP.
Yeah, if he gets a stable, I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll go the Shelton Benjamin direction instead.
That'd be pretty sweet. I want to see more Shelton Benjamin. I think he's great.
Well, you put Apollo up against Shelton Benjamin and Lashley in a couple feuds. That's one way to make Apollo Crews a somebody. Shelton can. Both those guys can wrestle, and we all know how talented Apollo Crews is. So, I think I would like the three of them together.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I honestly would. With everything going on in the world right now, I think a solid black stable with a bunch of belts would really be cool right now. I think it would really be helpful to a lot of shit going on. So, oops, and I cursed.
Whoops.
Whoops. I would like to see R-Truth in the middle of that somewhere, to be honest with you. If you turn R-Truth heel, like heel R-Truth, it's hilarious. I don't know if anybody remembers it, but it's he's absolutely fantastic. I thought that's the way they were going with the match they had on Raw with him teaming with Drew McIntyre. Like if you have R-Truth do a heel turn, cut another Pigeons promo.
Imagine if that's the whole deal. He keeps doing these accidental title matches for like Lashley, and here he's on their side the whole time.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's like I can't tell if when he did they did the spot where it was like he was talking. R-Truth was talking to MVP and Lashley, and he's like, "Oh, I heard you went to whatever Claymore country or whatever." He's like, "You should have been jet lagged. I'd be jet lagged if I were you." And then he's like, "Oh, you got jokes." And I thought R-Truth played it in a way where like, no, I really sincerely thought you'd be jet lagged if you went like, it was just like, I can't tell if he's playing an idiot or playing somebody who's doing jokes.
I don't know. I think he's genius. I think everything he does is genius because like he's the only one that does comedy right in WWE. He's the only one. I mean, you just saw like what was a 25-minute vignette with the Street Profits and the Vikings, whatever they are called this week, and there's like a couple funny spots, but like it's just not really funny.
The Street Vikings.
Street Vikings.
I do like when he sings "She Likes Ivar, Not Eric." I love when he does that for some reason. I don't know why.
I really wonder what the hell they're doing. I'm like, why did they bring the Big Show back? Like,
I don't know.
Was it? He's fine. He doesn't need to come back. He's got his own Netflix show now. Just let him have it.
I kind of liked when he talked to Christian.
Oh, that was neat. Yeah, that was neat.
But they could have just did that.
Yeah.
A show could have just like popped up when Christian was trying to decide. They should have had a couple veterans really talk to Christian before he went out. I think it would have built it more, even though I was amped. I was like, how are they going to do this? Because like Christian's like concussion he's got all the concussions. He can't wrestle. I was excited for that, man. Yeah. Yeah. But I liked it. I mean, who knew Randy Orton would be one of the best storylines in the last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of came out of nowhere. Like Flair turning on Christian. That was awesome. Getting in Orton's car, getting in Christian's face. Like, I didn't want to do this. Like that whole promo that he cut in Christian's face as he's laying there is just like, I didn't want to do this. You made me do this. I'm sorry. I had to do this to you.
Your fault this happened to you.
It's your fault that this happened to you. That's great. And he's pulling it off flawlessly. It's fantastic.
Well, I think what it is like Randy Orton, everybody likes to complain about. I think he's one of those dudes. He wants to do what he wants to do, and he wants to do it with the people he likes doing it. And he has no better chemistry than those two guys. Edge and Christian, he's that whole war he had with Christian, all his tag matches with Edge and all and he's just having fun out there. And this is the best. When Randy Orton's clicking, there's no one better than him. There's no one better than him. I mean, he did a 45-minute match on Sunday night, and I actually watched it with no crowd and canned fans. I sat there and watched that match. It was fantastic.
I do have a point that I want to make about the people who are acting like fans, the extras that they have. It feels like they're acting too hard, and they are not. None of it feels organic. They're like, "Oh, good guy, yay! Let's do the good guy thing." And then they're like, "Boo! You're a sucky boo!" And like the lack of what chance when someone's talking.
Well, what AEW does right is everybody sits at ringside and they just cheer for who they want to cheer for. Right. It sounds like a real crowd. But like we were joking a while ago, it's almost like they have applause lights up when people
Right.
are coming to the ring, and they just
Right.
scream for the good guy, boo the bad guy, and it just doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like real, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And how weird was it they were doing a "Can This Is Awesome" chant?
Yeah. I was like, oh, is that Fight Forever from the different match? They're just putting that in.
Yeah, it was
Edited that in.
so weird.
Just bring up an old NXT show. I'm sure we can get some chants out of that.
You guys, I don't know if you guys heard that one. I guess down
What's that?
south they're getting some thunder. So
Oh, yeah, we got to get this up before.
no, if it starts getting
rained on.
if it starts getting a little worse, my truck's right there. Sorry, they're doing like a mini protest on my corner, and my air conditioning's broke, and I wasn't going to sit there and suffocate with the windows closed. I'm not going to suffer for my art. When's the AEW pay-per-view? Is that this week or next week?
I don't know. I missed
it's Wednesday. Wednesday, Fighter Fest.
That's right. Yeah, got to be on. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys because I know, Rick, you're not a fan of him. I am amped for Chris Jericho, Orange Cassidy. I am amped for this match. I want to see it.
You know what? I will say, like, I've been looking around on YouTube at some Orange Cassidy matches. There's a Orange Cassidy versus Velveteen Dream from Evolve from like last year. That's up, and it's actually pretty good. Like I see what I'm starting to see why people like him. So I don't like, he's not on like the Nia Jax level of hate for me. So
Well,
yeah,
but Nia Jax is warranted. Like I was saying, they have that girl in AEW right now. What's her name? I mean, NXT, Raquel Gonzalez. That's the girl. That's the girl they should be pushing like Nia, because that she's what, like 6'1", she can actually wrestle and does power moves right. Like
she hasn't hurt anybody yet.
That's a plus.
That's a plus. Yeah, man, they're killing it down in NXT. I do want to see that the AEW pay-per-view that's going to be on TNT, right? Like that's not going to be like on like Fight TV or anything like that.
It's free, and then NXT to compete with it is going to have the three-way. Is it three-way? Yeah, three-way, and whoever wins that or fights Adam Cole, and it's winner take all. So they're going to do a three-way. Whoever beats if they beat Keith Lee, they take the championship, and then they wrestle Adam Cole. I think it's the week after that, and then that's winner takes all for both titles. So I'm wondering if Adam Cole gets both titles. And I guess this is their way to show everybody that he's staying on NXT.
Not going
so all these rumors go away, and then we finally get to see Keith Lee move up, which
that'd be cool.
I'm super amped for now that what we were talking about earlier off, Mike. We might be seeing Matt Riddle going away. So,
so it's going to be it's going to be what, Keith Lee, Gargano, and Balor in that three-way. Yeah.
Give him
Right,
25, 30 minutes. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be a great match. I don't know if it's going to compete like numbers wise with the AEW just because it's Fighter Fest, but we'll see. I think they're both going to be great shows.
Honestly, I'm going to watch because I have the network. I'm going to watch AEW live, and then I'll watch NXT. Was it 24 hours later, so I can actually watch it? So
yeah.
So,
oh man! Well, Mark, should we talk about the big news story that's going around?
I guess we have to, man. It's sad. You know how I am. I like to wait till all the details come out, but everybody's talking about it. This is it called Speak Out? Hashtag Speak Out. Is that what it is right now?
Speaking out.
Speaking out.
Yeah.
Supposedly Jack Gallagher has already been released for 2 sexual assaults. They're looking at Jordan Devlin now, and then supposedly Matt Riddle forced the girl to basically go down on him just so he would leave her alone. And now you were telling me Jim Cornette,
Cornette and his wife are have been in a ring of it.
Yeah, back in the OVW. Again, these are allegations and accusations. I don't know if if any of this is going to come to any kind of definite conclusion, where it's or any kind of evidence is going to pop up or anything like that. So I don't want to speak out like it's definitely this is the way it happened.
Not trying to defame anybody, but like
right.
I could see it. I mean,
we all can see it, man. We're all athletes in our different respects, and we've all been in boys' clubs and seen some dumb stuff go down, and with women, with stuff that literally none of us are proud of or anything like that. But like, my whole thing is, I just want to make sure this is all coming out because people's lives are at stake, their careers are at stake. And if they did do it, then bye. See you. You're going to jail or whatever, But I always like to wait till all the information. It's slowly rolling out now until everything finally gets pieced together.
So I didn't know about the Matt Riddle one, but that made me think of like, what kind of push are they going to give him? Where AJ Styles' first loss as Intercontinental Champion was to Matt Riddle, and like. Then they're just gonna get rid of him. Like,
well, like I said, they probably just did the taping and didn't know. They could probably, I don't know. They're just gonna have to release him, and then I guess Drew Gulak will move into his spot, which I really think that should have been Drew Gulak's spot in the first place, and Riddle should have been fighting somebody else. So it's a shame because I am a fan of Matt. I'm actually a fan of Jack Gallagher. And Cornette, I think, is one of the biggest geniuses in the business. But like I said, I hope they didn't do this because I'm a fan of them. But if they did, man, then they got to go. They all have to go. It's just how it is, man. Like, it's sad, and I feel bad for the women that. And with Cornette, it might be men. I don't understand what's going on, but it looks like it's actually men.
Yeah, it looks like it's like he would like to have. Like to watch as men would hook up with his wife or something. That's like what the rumor is. Which is even
like even weirder. Like, so that's all I can say, man. It's sad. I hope everything comes to light, and if this did happen to certain girls, hopefully they get their justice, and we'll see where it goes.
I mean, I was all over Twitter yesterday. The Twitter was a Twitter. Is that ninjas? Look out! Look out for the ninja.
It was really nice. It was a really nice chopper.
The Matt Riddle thing. This is an independent wrestler named Candy Cartwright who came out and is accusing Matt Riddle. Yeah, of performing sex acts in a van. But this is a little bit of a different story. So this is why they might leave Matt Riddle alone. Matt Riddle already came out against these allegations and was saying that Cartwright has been harassing him for a while, and this was back in 2018, I think. So they're already talking about like getting a lawyer together and taking care of that. So we might not see anything happen to Matt Riddle. But as far as everybody else goes, like. There's been pictures that came out from a woman that said that Jordan Devlin like abused her. Like she had pictures of her bruises all over her and stuff like that. So we might see some action against Jordan Devlin.
The guy David Starr from the Indies. He also got called out on some stuff and won't be booked anymore.
Obviously, there's some kind of culture going on in wrestling that needs to change. No matter what. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, whether some people get, fired, lose, possibly charges against them and all, it's hopefully this will be a positive and things can change in that culture. Cause like, we've always talked about, there's the boys culture. WWE has a severe bullying culture, even though they run a whole entire ad campaign about not bullying. Like there's a lot of things that need to change within the inside of that sport. So hopefully this is the catalyst for some of that change. So
So I'm glad that they're coming out and speaking out because there's a lot of we've been hearing a lot about women recently, like we were just talking about the whole DJ Hyde thing, selling all his CZW footage and stuff like that to porn sites and all this other stuff. Missy Sampson came out on a podcast recently and started talking about receiving unsolicited pictures and people tracking her down, like using their jobs as like tax collectors and debt collectors to track her down and talk to her and try and get stuff from her and stuff like that.
She tweeted yesterday, like some like pretty explicit stories of being forced into sexual acts and like having her clothes ripped off and stuff. So like wrestlers, like, come on, dude, come on, guys, like, yeah, we're better than this.
Yeah. So I'm glad they're speaking out now. At least they're coming out. Like it used to be like, you know, you can't say anything or we're going to damage your career. Now it's starting to get to the point where it's like if you're going to do something to a girl, that girl is going to come out and say and talk about it and figure out some way to bury you instead of you burying her.
Good.
Which is good. Is good. Yeah.
Good. I mean, you know, this all started like really coming out, I guess, was it like 2 years ago or whatever with Moolah, when they found out Moolah was basically pimping out female wrestlers, you know, and I guess, and that kind of died away. So like, obviously nothing.
They did a whole Dark Side of the Ring about it where like her closest people to her were denying it.
So again,
right.
Tell that guy to turn that music up. We get demonetized.
All right.
But
so we go back to more. I was gonna say, do we go back to more happier stuff now? Because all we say is for all the victims, man. You know, like hopefully you get justice in this. I mean, there's nothing else I can say because the deed's already done to these women and men. So hopefully they get some form of justice out of this, and things change.
Yeah. Let me talk about SmackDown a little bit because we did see a debut of Matt Riddle. I thought this week's SmackDown was fantastic. We saw the debut of Matt Riddle, which I really enjoyed. The Cesaro freak out was kind of cool. I hope that somewhere.
Oh, the 8 years and no respect thing was really cool.
Yeah. Got in Michael Cole's face. I'm like, what did Cole have to do with it?
I don't know what they're doing.
Maybe he thought he was Adam Cole.
Yeah. I think it was mainly just Cesaro coming out and just telling like WWE, not just Michael Cole, but just like screaming, it's like, you've been doing this to me forever, and I deserve way better than this. And I was great in the ring last week, and now this week I don't even get a mention. Like stuff like that. Like I really hope they're taking this and running with it, and they're actually going to push the guy because he definitely deserves it.
He was kind of in character for it during the lumberjack match. Like he was just kind of like out there, not really like on one side or the other. He was just like, whatever, I'm here, kind of thing.
But my whole thing is like, I'm happy if they do something with Cesaro and Nakamura, and maybe, you know, because we're all done with, like, as much as I love the New Day, there's no reason they should have the tag belts. Like, they've done everything they can with those belts. They need to move on to somebody else, and maybe these two guys are the ones they should put on. But what are they doing with Michael Cole? All right, so Sasha Banks and Bayley come out, and they're watching the tag match, and the whole time Michael Cole is doing nothing but badgering them into wrestling each other. And it's like this whole, he's being like a douche. And then 2 minutes later, someone will yell at Michael Cole and they try to act like he's this innocent announcer that, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't get it, and I don't enjoy it.
Well, I mean, he's undefeated at WrestleMania, so.
Yeah, true. True. But it's annoying. It really is. Yeah. And I don't like Michael Cole being any kind of focal point. He should just
he needs to like find a role and stick to it. Know your role and shut your mouth.
But how crazy is they went back to Bray, like Bray.
Yeah, man, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. It's like we got a Three Faces of Foley thing going on here with the Fiend and Firefly Funhouse, and then Wyatt family, Bray.
So I guess it's like almost like an escalation. So now Braun's gonna have to wrestle, old Bray Wyatt, and then when he beats him, that's when the Fiend comes out, and it's kind of maybe we'll finally get to see what you were saying back in the day, Rick, is maybe him changing personalities in the ring like Mick used to do.
Yeah.
Well, like I was thinking also it'd be cool if Bo Dallas starts being the Fiend, and then Bray is Bray.
Do they still have Bo Dallas?
I don't know.
I was gonna say,
I know. I think he was one of the guys that got released in the whole Black Wednesday thing. I think. If I'm,
I don't know. I mean, unless they are holding on to him, but I don't know.
Because I know Curtis Axel. I think they got rid of Bo Dallas. Gotta believe. Believe in Bo. Believe. But yeah, man. I'm interested to see like another Bray Wyatt Braun Strowman match, but this time have it be like the family thing, because it's been long enough that we can kind of forget about like all the bad booking stuff that happened with Bray Wyatt before. Like we're not forgetting, but like we're over it now. He's the Fiend, like the whole Firefly Funhouse thing. Let's see it. Let's see this, this Wail and Mercy ripoff. See what he can do.
I like unrelated to that, but it's something funny because I had to do Braun Strowman when he was in the match with Miz and Morrison, and Corey Graves called John Morrison Johnnie Drip Drip. He's like, that's his rap name, MCMIZ and Johnnie Drip Drip.
Speaking of bad booking, man, I loved how those two came out and explained how they were screwed on the match, and that's why Miz messed up and pulled his leg. Because it just that whole match made no sense once it got to the pay-per-view. So I'm glad they at least are slowly stop like insulting our intelligence and like trying to fix when they make mistakes.
I agree. From Backlash though, I want to actually comment on Jeff Hardy's knee hitting that post.
Yeah. You just got to remember it's nasty as you think it is, because there's a metal post underneath it, but it's surrounded by the weakest plastic and LED stuff. So it sounded gross and it looked gross, but it probably was fine. But it looked great. They need to do stuff like that more.
It had to smart a little. A little.
It wasn't a breeze for sure.
Yeah, I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm just saying,
It's not as bad as it would be if like Cesaro's teeth.
And who knew the Mandy Rose storyline would be one of the best things on SmackDown? Her and Sonya Deville are killing it. They're killing it.
Ms. TV.
I think they're doing a great job with what they've been handed.
Yeah, they're great. I thought their match, but they had a match, and I thought that was fantastic. And I'm glad that they're continuing the feud. The Sheamus and Jeff Hardy feud, I don't care about. I didn't care about their match at Backlash. It was very slow paced. I thought not bad, but I mean, it could have been on SmackDown. And it looks like they're continuing the feud for some reason. I don't know why Sheamus won. Like that was weird.
It was not a pay-per-view quality match. I mean, I don't want to say the quality, but the build-up to it wasn't for a pay-per-view.
Honestly, Backlash, like I said, I really didn't enjoy it, and I started to enjoy the Asuka match, and then the finish was terrible. And then Bobby, I didn't enjoy it again until Bobby and Drew McIntyre came out there, and I was like, all right, you got two giants beating the hell out of each other. This is awesome. And then they throw Lana in there and screw that finish. And then luckily, then the match I thought was going to stink. Randy Orton and Edge kill it. It was an odd pay-per-view for me.
It was pretty odd.
Yeah.
I mean, the matches that were good were really good. It's just bad finishes, man. And except for the Randy Orton one, because I thought that was really well done, him kick him in the nuts and then finishing him. And how long is Edge going to be out? He's got a torn shoulder, right?
I think they said 4 months.
I
If I'm not
think it's
mistaken.
a tricep. I think it's a torn tricep.
That's a torn tricep. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
They like showed a picture of the surgery happening on SmackDown. I'm like, they could have said graphic warning first. I don't want to see that.
Hey, this is going to be gross.
Well, remember WWE used to do that back in the day, like in the 90s. Like someone would get surgery and they would just show the doctors like going into their knees and stuff. I was like, I don't need to see this.
Yeah, it's
It's like, we
hey,
believe you. We believe you.
All right.
It's like, where's Mr. Socko? I can't handle this.
Tapping out. Where's Mr. Socko?
I wonder how many people threw up when they saw like, oh, do you want to make your audience vomit? Show them a gross surgery picture.
Middle of Benoit's knee surgery, Yertle the clown just waddles out. Hey, blowing the little whistle thing. Gotta make it light. This is too gross.
Ugh.
Where's Mr. Socko? That's fine. Yeah, but I enjoyed wrestling this week. I'm going to enjoy wrestling next week because I'm really looking forward to the NXT show and the AEW show. NXT this week was kind of hit or miss.
It was.
There wasn't. We were talking a little bit off air, Mark, about the whole Damian Priest thing. Suddenly he's the face. Like he lost to Finn Balor.
I don't get it anyway. I mean, they're still going with the Johnny Gargano thing, whereas he does not seem comfortable at all as a heel. But then you have your boy, Punishment. He's natural as a heel. He seems comfortable as being a heel, and now they're going to change him into a face. And it's like, oh well, actually, he hasn't done anything in his heel run yet, except for had like maybe 4 matches that were kind of noteworthy. So it's like, all right, let's put him in a feud that really pushes him as a big heel. And then they're like, he has a great match with Finn Balor. Now he's a face. And it's like, man, you guys just dropped the ball on that.
Yeah.
I think Mark said it when we were off the air about it just feels like another Raw or SmackDown now. Like
it does.
It doesn't feel as special as NXT used to feel.
And that's the weird thing is like, is Triple H not running it like he used to anymore? Is someone else like booking it? Because it just seems very formulaic. Even like they still have great matches when they actually wrestle. Like Finn Balor's killing it. Which I'm really looking forward to that match next week to see pretty much the 3 best wrestlers in NXT besides Adam Cole, like wrestling for that belt. Is it dripping out here? Is it spitting?
Uh-oh.
So I gotta,
Johnnie Drip Drip.
I'm gonna start walking.
Marky Drip Drip.
Marky Drip Drip.
But this is like this little park by my house that I never go to. So
Yeah. It's a beautiful park. I never knew that was there. I would totally go there. And I can't believe that's in your neighborhood.
it's hidden. I'll flip it around. It's hidden by the old Waterworks building, the Philadelphia Waterworks building, that they're turning into this massive condo apartment complex, and then the entire A Street side will be all supermarket. I mean, like not supermarkets, like stores and a couple. I think there's 2 restaurants going in there. So this thing's been a project for about 4 years now, 5 years.
Gentrify, my brother. Gentrify.
Oh, that's gentrification is like it's beyond gentrification now. This is just all rich people moving here now. It looks cool though, man. I gotta admit, they're finally putting the glass in the building, and then they'll charge $2,500 a month, and I won't be able to live in my neighborhood anymore.
That's the way it works. Welcome to America. All right, before Mark gets rained on, let's what do you say? Let's hit the Who Wins Wrestling thing. What do you say? Who wins wrestling? Blah, 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 blah. That might have been the worst lead up to
I was
that.
going to say, you have never phoned it in so hard on that lead in.
I don't know. Yeah, we do. Let's just do the. What do you say? Yeah, okay. Whatever.
You sound like JR on commentary when he's like phoning in and he's phoning in at AEW and he's still better than everybody else.
All right.
What do you
Who wins
say?
that?
What do you know? What do you say?
What do you know? As the old gimmick here, the old how do you do? Corey, what do you got this week, man? Who wins wrestling?
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Because the commentary.
I
Yeah.
can't fight that. He's
On
been
commentary.
the best. He's the absolute best.
Yeah. He's so good. It's incredible.
He,
Like,
he
did you
explains
see-
moves. He explains screw ups. He fixes things. He's so good, so good.
he throws these like cool little. He said he threw a thing in the one thing when he said technique beats power all the time. He said something like he just always throws like these really cool little cliche, kind of like Gorilla Monsoon, little throws them out there. It's pretty cool. I like it.
God, I miss Gorilla.
He's definitely, in my mind, the best.
If I could ever have, if there could be any way for him and Bobby to still be alive, it'd be the greatest thing ever.
Oh my God. That
Did
was
you-
the greatest. Yeah, I don't think it was ever better than that.
There's
Can
no
I
one ever
real
better
quick
than him.
give a second one like as a runner up to it?
Sure.
I want to say Howard Finkel for getting to announce another match. Howard Finkel
was
gets a little nod for me.
Posthumously.
Yeah.
No hummus. No, it's
You, Humus?
Pete
Bananas?
in the hummus.
Posthumously?
Posthumously.
Posthumous. I always said posthumous. So I don't know. I've always said it wrong. I don't care.
I think I
go-
we either named my show or one of your shows posthumous the one time. I forget. I can't remember which one it was.
I forget. Yeah. There was one of them.
I'm going with Randy Orton. I have to. There's no one on fire like he is. There's no one who's better on the mic right now than he is. He's a guy who everybody says he has the same moves, but for some reason when he's telling the right story, those same boring moves look awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, Orton killed it this week. Like with the even like the lead up to his match with Edge was great. Like he was great on every single promo, and then that match was fantastic. I think exceeding the expectations. And then you had his whole thing with Christian on Monday. I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
And
So
and nobody has
you
better chemistry than those two together. So
Yeah.
like if you never got a chance, if you're newer to wrestling and you're listening to the show, check out Christian and Randy Orton's One More Match feud. Some of those matches will just blow your mind. Like
Yeah.
Christian is probably top 10, if not top 5 most underrated wrestlers ever. Like,
Mhm.
like that guy does not get the credit for how good he really is.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of his in the Edge and Christian days, like before he ever cut his hair. Rick, you remember when I used to come out to the ring? I used to do the thing.
Do the whole Christian thing. Yeah.
I got that from
I'm
Christian.
sorry.
I was a big fan of Christian's.
Because you should be. Because everybody should watch that guy wrestle. Like his style and
Good,
how he
you
wrestles
should
for a
be.
smaller guy. And look at Edge pulling out an unprettier during his match too.
Yeah. I was excited to see that. He did a couple things, Christian. Like I forget what the other thing.
He did a rock bottom.
Oh yeah,
did.
he did a rock bottom. Yeah. There was
And
just
then,
where Orton did a pedigree.
Pedigree, yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple different things. Yeah,
Do you
definitely
know,
have to watch the Orton.
you know
and
who
Edge match.
probably really wins wrestling? The extras they paid to act like fans at the Performance Center.
You know what? Some of those fans were like going absolutely bananas, like overacting to the extreme. And I was watching. I don't know if you guys saw my watch along that I was doing, but I'm sitting there going like those fans. Like I know they're there and they're getting paid to do this, and they're part of the Performance Center, but those fans are going nuts, like more than you see like actual WWE fans go sometimes. So, like, props to them to some point. Like, I know, I'm sure it's overproduced to hell, and that's like WWE's fault. But these guys are doing really well. I saw Karen Q in the audience.
Yeah,
who's a friend of
I've
ours.
seen a few folks that I've known, like Sarah from the last season of Tough Enough was there. Like,
Oh, yeah.
one of the competitors on the last season of Tough Enough. Just
Yeah.
thought that was neat.
Let me drop a Who Wins Wrestling for you real quick. I don't think these were the best guys out of everybody this week, but definitely worth mentioning was Breezango. If you saw NXT,
my God, I forgot to even talk about it. They rule.
Yeah. That was awesome. Like, that was fantastic. Like, to have a tag team title match out of nowhere on NXT, like, they really got the short end of the stick on like whatever Raw or SmackDown or whatever. I'm glad that they're reinventing themselves in NXT.
If they were able to continue this gimmick on Raw and they actually got time, they would have been massive.
Dude, their Snickers commercial was my favorite Snickers commercial.
But like, you remember the match they had with the Usos where they were dressed as janitors and Tyler just kept rolling every time they tried to splash him across the ring. They're probably next to Truth is probably the two best comedy wrestlers I've ever seen in this new era. Like they're really good with timing and they can wrestle and they're really good. And it's just a shame that they don't get like the credit they do. And I'm glad you brought that up, Rick, because that was actually a really good match.
Yeah, we couldn't let this go without that being brought up. That's a match you should definitely check out on the network.
Yeah.
Going back to Cory, what you were saying about Samoa Joe on commentary. Did you guys see the clip of him when it was somewhere in between the matches where they were talking about AJ Styles winning the Intercontinental title? Samoa Joe said something about like, he deserves a little bit of time off, go home and spend time with his family. And as soon as he said, I'm talking about AJ's family, Samoa Joe's face just dropped. Like, I remember. Like he had that look on his face. It was great. If you can find it on YouTube or something.
When he looks at the camera, he's like, tell your family I said hi. And he makes that real evil face and then smiles. It was so good. So good. He's the... Dude, WWE, they just need to fire like all their announcers and just put him with somebody, and that's it.
I think Byron Saxton with Samoa Joe and Tom Phillips is him being there. Byron is unnecessary. Like Tom and Joe can do perfect, just the two of them.
Yeah, it's a shame. Like Byron's actually, I've heard him when he actually does commentary, and he's got only like a second person with him. He's good, but when they put him in 3-man boost, he just kind of disappears in it. And it's a shame. So I would rather see Byron get like taken off that, have just the two of them, and then put Byron on another show.
Right.
And I like him. He's actually pretty good when they stop doing the like he's black, but he's a corny white guy personality gimmick they do with him, and just let him commentate. Just let him commentate. He's good.
Put him with Coach.
With Coach?
What that let them fight over being nerdy black dudes like that's that's like they push both of those characters like too much.
Charleston. He just kicks him.
Speaking of commentary,
sandwich. The blue hell you doing?
But speaking of commentary, I have to say, if you're subscribed to Rick's YouTube channel, check out some matches from 2012. Where I flexed my commentary muscles at an OTW show. I was checking that out the other night with Grey Wolf. And he's like, dude, why don't you do more commentary? I'm like, because wrestling doesn't exist anymore? I don't know.
I wouldn't mind doing that at least once and trying to do it at least once.
I was kind of impressed with myself, like listening back to it.
You were bad at all.
No. Yeah. I mean, what's that? What was that? 7 years ago?
Rick, do you have the video you drunk doing commentary somewhere? I want to see that one.
That's on YouTube now. Yeah, that's that's the Wicked Hanuman show.
Okay,
I just started getting drunker and drunker as the show goes on. And in the last match, I'm just gone. I'm just not there anymore. They just brought in somebody else.
Somebody reviewed it on YouTube and put GIFs of it all. Like they gifted all. And
oh, really?
There's a GIF that I put. I retweeted the GIF, and it was of Matt Bomboy giving me a super kick and like knocked my head off. And I was like, Mondays, am I right?
Yeah, it's a really good show. Yeah, check out my YouTube channel. It's tinyurl.com/YouTube Rick Connor. CONNOR. can get a lot of good matches in there. It's a lot of old stuff, a lot of new stuff. So check it out.
Great.
And while we're throwing plugs out there, check out our Teespring shop. Buy some of our merch, man. Teespring.com/stores/rassle-rock. All proceeds donated to charity. Everybody else got anything? It is. That's every single one. Corey, what do you got? I know you got.
If you're subscribing to stuff on YouTube, check out my channel. It's just Cory Castle, youtube.com/Cory Castle. And you'll get to see like live videos of my Evolving with Cory Castle podcast, which is also available on all podcast platforms. But actually, like the episodes on the YouTube are actually weeks ahead of the ones that are coming out on Spotify and iTunes and stuff. So, it'll be a little treat. It's like an insider treat.
Nice.
And
I didn't need
I just watched a nice little piece of lightning go down over. Looks like the river.
it was Ric Flair lightning. Check out my store on ProWrestlingTees.com. And it's cool. There's a TNE shirt on there. There's a Castlemania shirt.
Nice.
There soon will be the White Castle logo shirt.
Oh, nice. I remember that one.
I don't have anything going on, so just be good to everybody. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Just be good to each other, man. Look out for each other. That's all I'm going to say, because it's been wild, especially if you live in the city like I do. It's been wild the last few weeks. So
yeah,
just be happy with people. Live and let rev. God damn it.
Oh yeah, there's some thunder happening here too, Mark.
Yeah, it's getting dark and starting to spin now, man.
All right, so before Mark gets struck by lightning, let's roll on out here. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Wrestle Rock. I'm Rick Connor.
Mark Habacher.
Cory Castle.
I like how you waited there, Corey. Good job. All right, let's take it out like we always do with Mr. Nick Burke.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Join us again for another episode of Wrestle Rock. This has been Jay Davis speaking.